Big Bang are a British electronic music duo that came to prominence in the late 1980s. The band consists of Laurence Malice, founder of Trade Nightclub, and Iain Williams, writer. 2-3, based in London, the duo were signed to Swanyard Records and spearheaded the music genre known as Big Beat. 4. Big Bang were formed during the latter part of 1988. From 1986 to 1988, Laurence and Iain had previously been in a band together called UU along with the vocalist Karen O'Connor and backing vocalist Alice Shaw. 5-6-7. UU gave their first concert at a secret location in Charing Cross Road, London, in early January 1987. So secret was the venue, members of the band have since forgotten what it was called. The show was arranged as an unannounced warm-up gig before their debut at the Camden Palace on 13th of January. 5-8. The band billed their first series of concerts as stage 1 of their World Domination Tour and enlisted the help of illustrator Mark Wardel to design their publicity. 9-10. Their appearance at the Camden Palace attracted over 1,000 people on what the Met Office recorded as probably being England's coldest night of the 20th century. 5-11-12-13. It was during this tour that Karen wore her controversial conical metal bra on stage. Designer Jean-Paul Gaultier a couple of years later designed his renowned version of the cone bra for Madonna to wear on her 1990 Blonde Ambition World Tour. UU built up a strong following performing concerts on the club scene including 3 nights at the Hippodrome, London, 23rd of January, 9th of February and 6th of April, 15, 16, 17, a show at Fabrice Emar's Le Palace in Paris, which the performance artist Lee Bowery hosted, 18, and performances at the Fridge in Brixton where they appeared on stage on a huge white staircase with a troupe of synchronized dancers, filmed for Japanese TV, 5-19, at Anarchy Club at London Astoria, at the Zap Club in Brighton, as part of the event Return of the Django Goes to Brighton on 18th of April, 2021, at Paradise Lost in Watford and at the Limelight. 22. The band received an invitation to appear at The Party, a benefit concert held at Wembley Arena on 1st of April for the first ever World AIDS Day. 5-23. On the bill were some of the best-known names in the music industry including Elton John, George Michael, Bob Geldof, Meat Loaf, Ben E. King and Kim Wilde. The show was televised to over 100 million viewers worldwide. Due to the volume of acts who performed at the event, UU were allotted an appearance at the after-party show held at a theatre in London's West End. The band appeared on stage alongside several pop stars including George Michael, members from the cast of TV's Coronation Street and EastEnders and performers from several West End musicals including 42nd Street, Musical, and Nonsense. 24. On 12th of July, UU made a guest appearance on the Channel 4 TV show Network 7. Their pop video for Head Over Heels 25, directed by Stephen Chivers was premiered on the show and Karen was interviewed by presenter Magenta Divine inside a specially built caravan. On 17th of December, UU gave a special Christmas show at the Hippodrome, London, their 4th appearance at the venue that year. It would become the band's last ever live performance. In February 1988, UU signed a deal with Orinoco to record a single for major productions under the guidance of Orinoco Studios owner Tom Astor. The Lager brothers, Ken Thomas and Zeke Manyika, from the band Orange Juice, produced 2 tracks with the band. 26. In July the project came to a halt after Karen quit the band to concentrate on her acting career. Soon after the split, Laurence and Iain created Big Bang as a duo using session vocalists for recordings and live performances. The single UU recorded titled How Can This Be Love was never released. 27. Prior to UU, Laurence had hosted the Pyramid Club at Heaven Nightclub, London 28-29, and Iain had been a member of several London-based bands including Dance on a Telephone 30, and One by One, with whom he recorded the single I Kept My Promise released in 1984 on Discovery Records. 31. In January 1984, Iain recorded the dance track Love is Suicide at Triton Studios in Soho, London, under the provisional title Iain Williams and the 1984 Project. 32. The track was penned by Williams and co-produced by Fiacre Trench and Iain Williams. The 9-minute recording based on repetitive chord structures was an experiment in producing a rhythmic, minimalistic dance track aimed specifically for the dance clubs. Iain cited his inspiration for the recording as coming from various components, including the music with repetitive structures principle of American composer Philip Glass along with the lyrical essence of George Orwell's dystopian novel 1984. The song's lyrics are an observation of the S&M style relationship between the novel's two main characters, Winston and Julia. An impressive lineup of musicians appeared on the recording including Hans Zimmer, on Fairlight CMI synth and Lynn drum, guitarist Alan Murphy, later of the band Level 42, lead vocals by Lilo, of the band Lilo and the Levins, with backing vocals by Shirley and Dee Lewis, and the famous Trident Studio grand piano, on which Rick Wakeman played on David Bowie's recording of Life on Mars, was played by Iain Williams. 32. In 1985, Iain produced and co-wrote the single The Boys Were There released on the Fridge nightclub indie label, Latex Records, for London-based performance artiste Yvette the Conqueror. 33. Big Bang signed to Swanyard Records at the start of 1989. The label was founded by Margarita Hamilton, owner of Walton Castle, and Big Bang were the first artists to be signed to it. They released their first record on Swanyard Records, Surtiyar 134, in June 1989, an Arabic-inspired version of the ABBA classic Voulez-Vous B-side Cold Nights in Cairo. 35-36, it reached number 101 in the BBC National Chart. 37, the single was produced by Big Bang and Steve Toth. Both 7-inch and 12-inch versions, plus an Imagine Mix 12-inch extended version, were released. The band used session vocalists on all their recordings. Lead vocals on Voulez-Vous were shared by Jasmine Duggan, Ventura 38, and Teresa Revel, and backing vocals were shared by Iain and Laurence. Duran Duran guitarist Andy Taylor played guitar on the track. 39, a 12-inch white label had previously been released several months earlier. 40-41, mixed by Democratic 3, Voulez-Vous, Democratic 3 Mix, reached number 1 in certain club charts throughout the UK and number 27 in a Record Mirror chart. 42, also, a Voulez-Vous, rare mix, was distributed specifically to dance clubs. It was Iain Williams who coined the musical term Big Beat to describe the band's sound and explained the concept during an interview with the journalist Alex Jerry for an article in the London magazine Metropolitan, issue 132, page 9, June 6, 1989, under the heading, Big Bang in Clubland. Could Big Beat be the 1989 answer to Acid House? 43. Big Bang's sound consisted of various experimental musical elements including heavy hard rock drum beats and synthesizer-generated loops, as well as an added suggestion of European influences that at times had a trance-like quality. Their agent 10x Better released a press release detailing their musical influences that included Dalida, Warda Al Jazairiya, ABBA, Tamla Motown and 70s Euro disco. 44. Big Bang always stated Cold Nights in Cairo gave a better impression of the big beat sound they were aiming for than their recording of Voulez-Vous did. Club DJs picked up on this and both tracks became club floor fillers. The concept of the big beat sound was later picked up on and adapted by many club DJs and went on to become widely used by many successful musicians throughout the 1990s. During 1989, Big Bang performed several concerts to publicize the release of Voulez-Vous with their lavish Arabic circus tour that consisted of various circus acts including acrobats, one-wheel bicycle riders, fire eaters, jugglers, flying trapeze artists and a belly dancing troupe. 45. Big Bang were joined on stage by the vocalists Teresa Revel and Jasmine Ventura. Shows were performed at the Hippodrome, London and Leicester Square, where Steve Strange hosted the night, and it was said Grace Jones threatened to jump on stage to upstage the band. 46, and at the Paramount City in Soho, formerly the Windmill Theatre, at the Hammersmith Palais in Hammersmith, and at Heaven nightclub with DJs Mark Moore, creator of the band's Express, and Colin Favor, who on his MySpace page cites Big Bang as being one of his many musical influences. 37, 45, 47, 48, 49, 50. The Arabic Circus Tour also performed at a special ball held in a massive disused West London warehouse hosted by the performance artist Lee Bowery, with experimental musician/vocalist Danielle Dax and American punk singer and former Andy Warhol protege Jane County appearing as supporting artists on the bill. 1990. Throughout 1990, Big Bang concentrated on writing and recording new material with the intention of releasing an album. In October, Laurence opened Trade nightclub at Turnmills in London. Trade was the first all-night after-hours nightclub in Britain and became legendary. 5152